you are in an amazing position of disposable income and job security as a medic. And let's say that for whatever reason, you now want to start a YouTube channel. So what are the things that you are going to need to really up that quality? This is a follow-on from one of my most popular videos, which is how to start a medical YouTube channel. So for the basics of how to get started, I would probably go to that video. And this is level 2. This is if you want to level up. You've already put out a few videos there. You're pretty happy with how things are going, but you just want to increase that quality. Now, there are going to be 3 things that I'm going to talk about in terms of how to increase your quality. And a really common misconception here is people think that to get the best quality, you need the best camera. You need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a camera. Out of the 3 things that I'm going to talk about, your camera is actually the least important. Now, number 1 is lighting and perspective. So we're going to do a bit of a before and after. Now, this is what the footage looks like without any of those lights. And you can see what it looks like in the side camera that I have here. And let's turn everything back on. Now, as I have hopefully demonstrated here, the lighting makes a massive difference. You can see that my face, my body, my hands, they really pop out when we add in those extra lights. Now, let me show you exactly what I'm using here. There's a really great setup that I found online, and I will share links in the description below of all the things that I'm talking about here. But I used the newer lights. And these are 2 lights that I have in 2 separate positions. I have a big spotlight shining on my face, and I have the light in the background. And the cool thing about these lights is you can adjust both the tone of the light and the color of the light. So when I'm using my main spotlight, I have it set to a very cold, white tone. But you can change that into something a little bit more warm, a little bit more yellow. Now, in terms of the light in the background, I have experimented with blue, and I'll show you a video where I have the blue background set up. I am currently sticking with the purple background. I feel that that just works for me. And as you can see on the side here, I have a little light here that's just giving an extra spotlight. I have bought a special light bulb for that light so that it's not very bright. It's just there in the background. This is a brand that you can get in Australia called 𝐕𝐈. It says here that it costs 24 bucks. It's just those lights that have the little yellow rods inside rather than blasting light, just giving a little bit of a spotlight there. Now I'm just coming around the back of this light. As you can see, this is the control panel. This is where you can change the intensity and set the color. So these are the main knobs that you will have. On the right hand side, you have the intensity. So if I crank this up to 100, it's really, really bright. And if I start going down, it starts to get a little dimmer. 85% is probably the sweet spot for me. So I'm going to bring it back to 85%. This is where you can set the tone. I like to set it at 56K. So that's really, really neutral and light and white, of course. And if you change the color down, you will see that it is getting really, really yellow. I like it set at 56K. That's perfect for me. Now, when we are talking about lighting, I just want to explain one thing, because apart from having the amazing newer lights that I use, that I find are really amazing quality and reasonably priced, I have also purchased an umbrella. And the reason why I purchased the umbrella is that it does make your skin tones just a little bit softer. And as you can see, you do need to buy a special adapter, and I will leave a link in the description below. And it just sits on top of the lighting stand, as so. So the adapter sits on top, and you can see that there is a little bit of a hole. This is where you put the umbrella through, and the umbrella will just soften that light. Now, if you go around the back, you can see this is where the second light lives. It's the same setup. I have it set at 20% intensity, and the actual color you can set up on the app. And that just shoots out this kind of purple color into the corner. Now, if you come around to the other side, you will see the other light. It's not too bright. It has those nice yellow rods inside, and that just gives it a bit of a spotlight. So when we are talking about perspective, what I'll do is I'll basically just show you some of my old videos. So as you can see, this is my YouTube studio. This is my channel. We're going to go to some of the oldest videos here, and I'll give you a sense that at the start of my journey, I didn't really understand much about perspective.
Hey guys.
Right, well, this is one of my oldest videos, the Bed Noble's RCGP Cancer Maps. Really super useful tool, especially when you're working as a GP in the UK. But what I'm getting at here is that my desk in that room was where most of our desks usually live. So we kind of take our desk next to a window, up into the corner, and we're kind of facing a wall, and that's where we're working away or facing the window. And so what I did when I just started out is I just put a camera in the center of the room, in the middle of the room, and I just recorded onto myself. As you can see behind me, there's really not much in terms of perspective. All you're getting in the background is pretty much that wall that was behind me. And so what I later realized, what if I actually put my desk in the middle of the room and I put my cameras at the very start of the room so that you're getting me in the middle of the room, but you're also getting some of this background. And that's what I mean by perspective. And I'll show you a video when I first understood how that would work. So what I essentially ended up doing here is I put my desk right in the middle, or actually kind of close to the front door of this room, and then had the camera squeezed in at the very front of the room. And so effectively what happens here is you have this amazing perspective behind me. And that's pretty much what I tried to do here. So I'll give you a sense of what this looks like on this recording. As you can see here, as you walk into the room, the desk and the cameras are right at the start of the room. So if you have a room that works as a spare room at the same time and you have people sleeping there as well, well, that can get a little bit complicated because you have to reset the kit every time you're using it to record a video, and then do the same thing, move the furniture away when you're using it as a spare room or as a bedroom. Now, the second thing we're going to talk about is sound. So the audio quality is the second most important thing to get right after getting the lighting and the perspective correct, or as best as you can get. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to compare the audio quality that I'm getting from the microphone that I'm going to propose you get for your setup. And I'm going to compare that with the quality of the screen recording that I'm doing right now. My computer is currently recording my voice. And then you'll get a sense that there is a massive difference between the good microphone that I'm going to be showing you here and the poor quality microphone that is coming from the computer that's set up in front of me. Even though it's not a bad computer, it's just the quality of the inbuilt microphones is not good. It's not good enough to make a good YouTube video. So what I'm going to show you here is two ways how you can use a microphone to capture your voice. And the first way is with the microphone in the shot. As you can see from the screen recording here, this is from a course that I created called How to Use emails as a Clinician. That is a clinical system that we use in the UK. And if you are interested, you can, of course, purchase this course. I'm basically trying to show you that for this course, for these tutorials, I've decided to have the microphone in the shot. I just felt that it would just make things a little bit easier for me. The best microphone by far in the world that you can get for that is the Shure MV7. This is a USB mic that you plug in directly into your computer and it will record that way. And I find that this is the best quality mic. It is absolutely amazing and it isn't actually that expensive. If you prefer YouTube videos where you actually can't see the microphone, then I would recommend a shotgun mic, at least at this stage. I have this shotgun mic, MKE600, which is a Sennheiser shotgun mic. And I'm gonna show you exactly how it fits to my camera. So from here, you can see that the shotgun mic sits on top of my main camera, just like so. And I'm gonna come around the side and show you how it's connected. So this is the shotgun mic up here, and you can see that it is connected with a cable that goes directly into the mic input at the side. When I record audio, I'm a little bit of a geek when it comes to recording audio. I do denoise my audio, I mix and I master my audio as well. So again, that is something that either you can figure out how to do yourself, and if you do want me to explain how to do that, I can definitely create a video for you. Or if you are using a video editor to do that for you, they will probably denoise the audio for you. The only problem with connecting a shotgun mic directly into your camera is that sometimes the preamps of your camera can be a little bit noisy. But if you use a basic denoising program, or you use one of those plugins that just makes voice sound better, then it will automatically denoise for you. Now, number 3 in the medical YouTube channel gear, which I know that you've been waiting for and that you may have seen little bits and bobs in the B-roll that I've recorded here, is the camera. There is a camera out there that I feel is far superior than other cameras, and that is the Sony Alpha 6600. And as you can see, this is the main camera that I'm using, the Sony Alpha or A660. And I find this is an absolutely tremendous camera when it comes to talking head videos. When we're talking about talking head videos, like the videos that I do for my YouTube channel. Now, as you can see, I do have a second camera. This is a Canon EOS 600D. And the reason why I have this camera is to get the side shot. I find it works out really well when you have the main shot, and I'm always looking at the main camera here when I'm talking to you guys, but I have the side shot coming from the Canon camera. There are a lot of reasons why I chose a Sony over a Canon. One of the main issues with Canon cameras is that they are mainly made for photography purposes. And so if you have videos, the old Canon that I'm using here that I've already just showed you, the video will cut off after 10 minutes. And so that's really terrible. I have to have this little special remote control. And when I can see that that camera has stopped recording, I have to press it so that it records again. And so what I did... So that's a massive faff. And the good thing about the Sony cameras is that they will not turn off until you run out of space. And realistically, that is very, very difficult to do. I would probably have to spend hours and hours and hours and hours recording for it to run out of space. Now, what's important here is that I'm not running off the battery, but I have the cameras plugged in to the power socket. And there are little adapters that you can get online to plug it in directly to a power socket. And that is the absolute spaghetti mess of all the cables that run back and forth to the cameras. Both of those cameras are running off the power socket. Finally, it's not enough to get the camera, you actually have to buy a lens as well. And I find the most commonly used lens for the purposes of these videos is the Sigma 16mm, and I will add a link in the description below. I don't have to mess about with zooming in, zooming out. I just set and forget, and it gives me a little bit of a blur in the background. This is the Sigma lens, and it's absolutely brilliant, and it really isn't that expensive, and it's amazing value. For the second camera, for the Canon, I'm just using the standard lens that came with the kit. I'm not too fussed about the quality of that one. That is just a bonus for me. Now there's a fourth thing I'm going to talk about, and this is a little bit of a bonus. In most of my videos, I'm actually not taking any breaths. I'm going to leave that breath in so that you know what I'm talking about. But when we are talking, we normally do take breaths. Unfortunately, YouTube is such that we don't have the attention span to still listen to breaths. So essentially all of those breaths are cut out, especially the really wheezy ones. I'm obviously exaggerating here. That's not normally how I breathe. But essentially, you don't want those little breaks in between. And so the way that I do that typically is I use Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is a program that I purchased for my Mac. As you can see, I'm using the screen record that comes with the Mac, which is Quick Player. So what I'm talking about here is the editing of the video. This is a video that I'm doing about why doctors are being reported to ACPRA. So hopefully that's out and you can have a look if that's something you're interested in. But essentially, I have cut out a lot of bits here. I zoom in, I zoom out, I add music underneath. Often when I am making these videos, I am making mistakes, I'm doing I'm redoing takes. And if you have the video editing skills, you can just cut those bits out and make it look really great and fluid without any breaks in between. You can, with your video editing software, add in music and add in little funny bits, that kind of stuff. So if you're just starting out on your journey, I found Final Cut Pro pretty easy to learn, and there are quite a few courses out there. And that fits in with the operating system that I'm using because I'm using a MacBook here. Over time, once you start generating some income, hopefully your channel starts getting monetized, like my channel luckily has become monetized now. And I am using an editor to edit out all of those all of those breaths, all of those mistakes that I'm doing. So thanks so much for editing my video as well. Obviously that person is getting paid for this, but they're still doing a great job. So thanks so much for your help. So that is your medical YouTube channel gear. Let me know how you're getting along. If you're having any issues or any queries, feel free to leave a comment below. You can also email me directly. That is the kit that I use, everything from start to finish. And that is the quality that I'm getting out of that kit, which I'm really happy with at the moment.